Hey guys, Andy here. I'm almost not sure how to introduce this video. Clearly it's not a real review of a 8-year-old device, almost 9-year-old device, give or take 2 months. But the other day I was just having a bit of a reminisce about devices I've used through the years, and I thought, I wonder what a Nexus One is like to use now. Basically, how different is it? So I went on eBay, and there were a couple on there. None of them said they're in particularly great condition. I don't think any of them were boxed. Wow, whatever. So for £30, I bought a Nexus One. My first honest-to-God thought when I took it out of the little package was, they've sent me some kind of joke fake device. Look how small it is. That's tiny. So there it is. Wow. I seem to remember you could get it like an etched back or something like that. I forget exactly how oh, it does look like it. There we go. Look, there we go. And there's the HTC battery, all 1400 milliamp hours of it. 1400. So as I say, let's start it booting up. As I say, this is not going to be like that. This is going to be a proper review. This is going to be a bit of a look, a bit of a trip down memory lane, hopefully a bit of a giggle. We're going to see Android 2.1, I think. Or maybe 2.36, sorry, according to GSM Arena. And it's just, hopefully, it's going to be a bit of a fun. So, one of the first things we notice along the bottom, we've got back, we've got, what was that, menu, I think? We've got home, and we've got search. Search, there was a search button. And of course, yoo-hoo! We got the trackball. Oh. Welcome to Nexus One. Tap, yeah, okay. I don't have a SIM card, no, but let's connect to Wi-Fi. So, I guess what I'll do first of all, so obviously it's not got 5G, as you would expect. It doesn't seem all that slow as yet. What I'll do, I'll get logged in. I'll try not to skip, I don't know, I guess I'm assuming you might want to see the process, so I'll get logged in. I'll try not to skip too much. I'll come back to you so that we can pick back up where we are. So I've logged into my Wi-Fi, I've logged into my Google account. We're just in the setup process and the market has crashed. It's finished setup. And I think that is going to be... has it got roughly? Yeah, it's got the right time. Oh my god! Look at the live wallpaper. That is amazing. Oh wow! If I remember correctly, there you go. Look, pew. No, what was the? Oh, they're just the different. Oh yeah, okay. So she swipes side to side. The dots move. See that? And the app drawer is in the middle. Oh, look at that. Why doesn't it do that now? It kind of rolls. It's on like a Rolodex almost. Go home. Oh, wait, did the home button actually? There it did. Oh, right, he wants to give us some tips. Drag apps to, yeah, okay. Rearrange, yeah, I think we're cool with that. Remove items. Multiple home screen. Just turn them. Do a widget. Alright, we're okay. How do it go away? Oh, there's the bin at the bottom. So, have I got... Oh, I've got emails, look. Claire, how do I... So how do I actually get into settings? That was, I guess it might just be the app. Settings. Display. So, I just wanted to see... Okay, we've got. Let's turn that off, and let's crank that right up. So basically, let's have a look at the specs though before we go any further. GSM Arena says 3.7-inch screen, which is 800 by 480. Does it give us the screen to body 54.8 screen to body ratio? You wouldn't guess that, to be fair. Surely that's more than 54% of the whole front. But at the same time, we talk about bezels. Those are some pretty big bezels. Oh, I love the design. Somebody should remake this as a modern device, like a, I don't know, 5.7 inch screen, but with the trackball and all that sort of thing. That'd be awesome. Where was I? So the camera is 5 megapixel. It does 480p, I think, at 24 frames per second. Okay. The OS, well, I need to check, I suppose, at some point. I don't know, I keep forgetting. Got to go in and find the settings app. About phone. Yes, we're on 2.3.6, which I think is as far up as it's going to go. I can't stop chuckling at this. It is brilliant. Where did I get to? It's got an AMOLED screen. That's quite impressive. It's 130 grams. I mean, it is quite dinky. It's 11.5 millimeters thick, though, which is quite thick, but kind of to be expected. It's a mini sim. The resolution, so I've mentioned the actual resolution is a 5:3 ratio, and the screen density is 252 pixels per inch. So it's not, it's not massively sharp if we're being honest, but at the same time, I think it looks all right. It's got a Qualcomm Snapdragon S1 chipset. I could not tell you what an S1 is. The CPU is a 1 gigahertz Scorpion. Now, I seem to remember up to the Nexus One for about 2 or 3 years, and I could be wrong, someone correct me, but I seem to remember the CPUs kind of got stuck at about 600 megahertz. They didn't really, I seem just have in my head that they never really changed. Each new phone came out was still 600 megahertz. Almost certainly the Nexus One, well, not almost certainly, that I remember was the first device to break that and go to 1 gigahertz. I remember, oh my god, 1 gigahertz, wow, I've got to get me one of them. Adreno 200 GPU. It can take a micro SD card up to 32 gig, and it had a 4 gig card supplied with it. Now, I'm not sure. It says internal 512 megabytes of RAM and 512 megabytes, as if literally the storage is half a gig, as well as the RAM being half a gig. So I'm not sure. I guess, can we see that in the settings? Everything's unavailable. Okay, yeah. 160, so yeah, that would count. 167 meg. So that would make sense that it's about 512 meg in total. Bluetooth 2.1. It's got GPS. There's no front-facing camera, obviously. Do you know, I never even thought that wouldn't be a thing back then, would it? Front-facing cameras. What was the first phone? Someone put in the comments, what was the first phone that had a front-facing camera? And did we all kind of go, what do you want that for? Accelerometer, proximity sensor, compass, and as I've mentioned, the battery 1400. So, I mean, this is just, oh, it's too funny. So I'm going to try and install a few things. It might not work at all. I might come back to saying, nah, couldn't do anything. You know, I can't imagine. So when you're writing an app, when you're developing, you have to set like a minimum API level, which is basically the version of Android. And these days, it's generally going to be around like Android version 7 or something like that, I would guess. I can't imagine that I can install much on a 2.3.6. I don't think I'll be able to install Dropbox to back up photos and download my test material. I have to manually transfer it over, or to get off the phone. You know, Geekbench, I can't imagine that's going to install it. I'll give it a go. I can measure the speaker. Wherever that, I think that's the speaker on the back. So I've got my decibel meter, and I can, if I can put my white image onto the device, I can measure the brightness of the screen, so I can come back with some sort of tangible measurements of it. But I mean, that's not what it's about, is it? This is, for me anyway, and hopefully you guys are just enjoying seeing it. It's just amazing. I just can't get over how dinky it is. I'm sure at the time I remember thinking, this is quite a big phone. I hope I'm alright with this. You know, it's tiny. Just, I'm going to bring in, look, my Mate 20 Pro. Oh dear. So I'll be back with it in a moment. We'll see what I can find out from it. So it turns out I am somewhat limited. Oopsie. Oh, I love the old drum of that, the old TV. Why don't the phones do that these days? It basically thinks I haven't got an internet connection, even though I can open up the browser. I tried to browse to Dropbox to download the things that I use for device testing, but I mean, it would load the page. I couldn't then click sign in and stuff like that. Wasn't particularly useful. YouTube is convinced I don't have an internet connection, as is the marketplace. So that somewhat limits me. I opened up the camera and found that you have to put an SD card in, which isn't massively surprising given that it's only got half a gig of space in. Well, I mean, available space was what, 160 meg? That's tiny. But then at the same time, the photos are, what were they, 5 megapixel? The video was 480p? So I tried them outside. they're not that impressive, to be honest, but you know, what do you expect from a 8-year-old, almost 9-year-old device? I did, when I took the SD card out to take the photos off, because I couldn't get the USB storage to work when I plugged it into my PC, I then put my device testing documents back on, and I could use some of them. So let's, where did I just write? There's music, so let's go into the music app. Come back from there though. So we have got Eminem, look. Let's not muck about. That doesn't sound good. Volume wise, it's okay. It averaged 85.9 on my test, so it's up there with other devices, like the S7 Edge, for example, but it doesn't sound good. Screen brightness, it was okay actually. 440 lumens it peaked at. I mean, it was generally around 420, 430, 400. That's not up there with modern devices, although having said that, it still beat, what did it beat? It beat the Elephone S8. I think that might be mine's device, maybe. Beat the Jelly Phone by a long way. Beat the Amazon Fire 7 by a long way. 440, that's not too bad. It's not that far behind some of the other, you know, the Redmi Note 3, the Xiaomi Mi A1. It's not that far behind them, so I give it a bit of credit for that. Yeah, so I can't look. I've got emails coming in. So there's Angola, look. Obviously, so Maps does still work. That's quite funny. I don't know why that's funny, but I don't know, it works. I'm not going to bother going into Facebook. Google Goggles. Do you remember Google Goggles? Navigation is a separate app. News and weather. Yeah, so it just thinks a lot of the apps, whatever protocols have changed, unfortunately. Yeah, I won't worry about signing into Twitter at the minute. So, oh, it is a fantastic trip down memory lane, though. What a great device. As I say, someone rebuild it in today's specs with modern, but in that design, I think it'll be fantastic. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. It's not been all that informative, and I feel like I spent a lot of time just laughing at the phone, but there it is. The Google Nexus One. Not something you can use now. I think you can possibly hack it up to Android version 4.4 from what I've seen on XDA developers. I'm not sure I can be bothered to go that much effort, to be quite honest. And as I say, it's almost a 9-year-old phone. I dug out the original sort of store receipts. I paid $550-ish back in January of 2010, which I think back then would have equated to about £330, which now seems like a complete bargain. And then I sold it already in October. I forget what I moved on to actually at that point. Was it the Desire already by that point? HTC Desire? I'm not sure. I've got it somewhere. I've got my list of the phones and the order that I got them. So hopefully you've quite enjoyed the video. I have got a HTC Hero on its way as well, which will probably come in the next week or so. Won't be quite as amusing really, because I've already played with the old Android Nexus One. But I'll do a little quick video of a look around at that. If I can do some of my tests on that, I will as well. It'd just be quite fun. I can't wait to see how small that's going to be. If I thought the Nexus One was small, then I'm sure the Hero was even smaller than this. But we'll see. If you've enjoyed the video, please do make sure you subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But for now, my name's Andy, and I'll catch you all again soon. Well done, and thank you for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, you might want to click the little fellow that should hopefully appear about here to subscribe. You may also want to check out some of my other videos, which are going to appear somewhere there. Also, come and have a look at my website, androidandy.uk. There is also a forum. Come and say hello on the forum if you've got any questions about things or request me to review things or anything else. Just come and have a chat on the forum.